What is going on, everybody? And today I want to show you exactly how I automated my Facebook and Instagram DMs to book qualified leads on autopilot without manually replying to anybody. This is a super simple process for literally anyone. I am a service business owner. I run a permanent lighting business locally here in Wisconsin, and we also do landscaping in the spring. And I wanted to show you exactly how I did this. So I'm an owner operator and I spend a lot of time responding to leads, and I don't necessarily have all that time. And a lot of businesses I feel like have this same problem. So I wanted to show you exactly step by step how to do this. It's really simple, doesn't cost a lot of money, and most likely can integrate into your current tech stack. So this is for any local or service business that is running Facebook or Instagram ads as a primarily lead source. People that are getting DM leads, but they're drowning in follow-up and they're getting a lot of volume. This AI takes that out of your hands pretty much completely, and all you'll be doing is talking to leads when it's time to quote or bid the job. And this is also for businesses that are struggling with Facebook lead form conversions. Now that is the traditional way. Most people do Facebook lead form or landing page, but this is a lot more personal, and it allows a lead to pretty much just be free form, kind of communicating in the DMs. And then, they have your Facebook page right there to see proof. It's a lot more like authoritative and driven for results. And we've been able to book a lot of jobs by implementing the system over a month ago. And I just want to show you what I learned and exactly how I did it for myself so you can replicate it for your own business in less than a couple hours. So all it takes is 4 simple steps. The first thing is you need to find where this fits into your funnel, which is super simple. We'll show you that in a second. And then you got to understand what the job is, like what is the role? Because this is essentially you training an employee to operate and to take over a specific department in your sales process for your business. And then we need to build a super simple chunked knowledge base. This is essentially where you'll just have an AI question you and give you a bunch of questions about how your business runs and operates. Normally takes under 30 minutes. And then this will allow you to build a chunked knowledge base so the AI knows everything that you know and it can respond accordingly. Then we're going to make a prompt for the agent and test it. So this is basically like its roles and its instructions. So it knows how to operate and it knows exactly what your process looks like and what it's to operate and how it's supposed to work. So what is the outcome here? So first of all, you're going to get instant DM replies to literally every single inbound lead that pops into your funnel. It's going to automatically qualify them before you ever jump in to bid or quote the job. There's going to be a lot fewer back and forth messages. I know as a service business owner, you're always kind of repeating yourself in the DMs and it's really annoying. So this is a great way to kind of prevent that and just save you a lot of time and give you more leverage for higher value things like marketing and service delivery. And then this is going to only allow you to be able to respond to high quality conversations. You're not going to be talking to tire kickers or people that aren't serious. The only time you're ever talking to somebody is if they're buyer intent and ready to go. And this is going to result to a lot more book calls and jobs without the manual follow-up. I used to spend hours doing this every morning, following up with leads, trying to get a hold of them manually. And it was a very tiring process. And I'd have to wake up like 3 hours before to start my day, 5 a.m., respond to leads, take like an hour to 2 hours, and then go and work. So it was a very tedious process and it got really repetitive. So this system is essentially going to work in the background while you just focus on fulfillment or higher leverage tasks. So this is super high ROI for any service business owner that's like an owner operator, has a pretty lean team, and they don't have somebody that's essentially directly responding to leads every single day, and that's their only job. So this AI agent is literally its only job is to qualify leads, figure out their intent, and route them to the next step in your funnel. So let's talk about the software stack and the tools you need. Pretty simple. You're just gonna need a couple LLMs. I recommend Claude. You can use ChatGPT as well. Claude is like $20 a month. You could probably get away with using it for free. ChatGPT I know is $20 a month as well. If you're gonna pay for anything, I would pay for Claude. Way better for this circumstance and use case. And it's actually got a lot more context, so it'll be able to remember things a lot better for you. So the CRM I'm using is Go High Level. This allows you to basically build these agents right into your CRM. So I can basically build an agent, manage it, and have it be on autopilot for my Instagram and Facebook DMs. And it'll be able to pull everything into my CRM directly. So this is literally the easiest way you can do this. If you wanted to, you could use a more complex system if you don't have Go High Level, which is like ManyChat or Zapier to kind of pull it all into your CRM. This is a lot more complex. It's going to take you a lot longer to set up, but this works as well if you don't have Go High Level. And then you could also use N8N. This is a more wide range automation platform that can just connect directly to your CRM, and you can build the agent in here as well. But the simplest way for me is Go High Level. They already have a pre-built system for this. So this makes it super simple for you. And you don't have to learn about all these APIs, triggers, and connections that make AI automation and building AI agents pretty difficult. So let's get into step number 1, how this fits into your funnel. So we got to figure out how does this fit into your current funnel and what you're currently doing. Now, the traditional way that I've seen a lot of service businesses run and exactly how we were running our funnel before is we would have our ad and then we would send them to a lead form. I know a lot of businesses have the call CTA sometimes which is super high friction for the lead because they're going to have to call you right away. It can work depending on your industry and your niche, but sometimes you don't even answer them. So you're just missing leads. If you have an AI receptionist here, it's not even really worth it because people are already prone to AI and they hear that and they're like, oh, that turns them off instantly. And then lead form, we would have them opt in from the lead form. And we'd have like that first initial inbound text where it's like, hey, got your message, blah, blah, blah. We'll reach out to you shortly. And they would normally sit for 60 plus minutes. Like if we're on a job, we're not specifically sitting here waiting for leads to come in. It really depends. Sometimes we get back to them right away. Sometimes they'd sit for a while. And then if they sit for a while, the higher probability that they ghost and don't respond. And then we'd have to manually qualify. So this is where a lot of problems start, right? You have a slower response time, delayed replies, leads kind of forget why they inquired if you wait too long. And this results in inconsistent follow-up as well because you have no way to like route them and understand, oh, this lead I talked to 2 hours ago, I need to respond to them and follow up with them, right? So the follow-up's a lot more inconsistent. Maybe you'll follow up a day later, maybe like a couple days later. So you really miss out on that lead when it's the warmest, right when they opt into your funnel. And then most of the time, like I said, you got to do manual follow-up or you'll get into like kind of a sales convo, kind of qualifying them yourself, and then obviously taking them through the quote process. Manual follow-up is tough because you got to check notifications. You're kind of texting back and forth and you're basically saying the same thing over and over. So it's almost like, why am I not automating this, right? And you're checking responses and then you're very inconsistent as well with follow-up. And most of the time that leads to people ghosting. And then most businesses, I also noticed, don't have a solution for when people ghost. They don't have a post-nurture sequence to kind of re-engage them if needed. So a lot of leads just slip through the cracks and just fall to the bottom of your funnel into no man's land, I like to call it, and just never respond. And then most of the times you book an appointment as well, but this sales cycle, depending on your business, could take weeks, could take a couple days. So it's a really kind of wasted time activity, especially if you're not automating the initial piece of it. So you're doing a lot of repetitive work. That's basically you answering the same questions, doing the same thing over and over. So this is why this AI is super helpful. So this leads to operator burnout. If you're like the only guy running the business or you have a really lean team, it's going to be hard for you to stay consistent with this. So that's a traditional way. This is how we were running our funnel previously, but now we recently discovered that DM automation is the way to go. So the whole purpose here is to move the qualification out of your inbox and into an AI system. So we're sending them to DMs first because it's more authoritative. They're on Facebook already pretty consistently if your ICP lives there, or Instagram, and they can go to your profile and see your reviews, see your results, and it feels like they're talking to like a real business. So it's really easy for them to do deeper research if they want to. And the agent's basically going to send all of this convo info and data to the CRM system that you're tied into. So they'll come from the ad and then they'll have a DM CTA, just basically a simple question to start the conversation where they can just click the button, yes or no. Super simple there. And then you'll have the AI agent get into it. So the AI agent's job is to respond instantly, identify their intent, and kind of set expectations, right? And route them to the next step, wherever that looks like in your funnel. It's not hard closing. It's not negotiating pricing. It's not sending quotes and writing quotes. And it's not handling like edge cases, like unique situations. It'll be able to ping you and have you respond manually. So this isn't a bulletproof AI system because obviously no AI system is bulletproof. There are a lot of things that it's incapable of depending on the structure and how difficult and complex your business model is. And then it'll automatically follow up, which is the big part here. So it'll catch people that don't respond. If they don't respond for 2 hours, it'll be able to send follow-ups automatically without you even having to lift a finger, which in my opinion is the best way to go. Because if they just opted in and they're in the DMs, you can pretty much be as aggressive as you want with follow-ups. It's super simple to just kind of spam follow-ups, right? They're not in your CRM. They didn't opt in with a phone number. You kind of have a free-for-all way to get them re-engaged in your conversation if they don't. And once they do re-engage, the AI will already have training and know exactly where they are in the step of the process that they're in. And it'll be able to basically take them back down that process and answer any additional questions if needed. And then it'll basically auto-qualify for you, which is super dialed and super simple. It's all it's doing is qualifying, gathering information, and then sending you that information for the quote. Now, for us, we have a couple options in our step, and every service business should implement something like this. So we book directly if it's a simple offer, it's low friction, and there's a fast turnaround. So for our situation, if somebody already has permanent lighting and they just need labor, we can book them directly into DMs and get them into our funnel, and the AI has the capability to do that. But if they're a higher ticket job and you can tell that and the AI can sense that, and they need more education or they need a call before booking, this is where we kind of send them to a middle of funnel page where they kind of just get educated more on your process and where you fit in the market. I recommend every business has this. I can show you how this looks on our end here. And this is the landing page that they go to. So it's kind of just like, a VSL quickly showing them how we work, what our process is. And then they basically see some social proof there and some more info, our results. and then they'll be able to go down here and fill out a quick form to book a call with us. We'll essentially just go through diagnosing them and reviewing the information from the AI and then quoting them directly on that call. So that's what makes it super simple. I recommend every business has this. It also gives them FAQs so that they can kind of browse and learn and get educated more deeply on your process. Okay. And then, yeah, you can either book them in the DMs, the AI can book times onto your calendar and capture information, or you can send them to the middle of funnel page. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. All the follow-ups automated. It's super simple. And honestly, once you set it up, it's a lot more simple than this traditional way that most businesses use with the funnel they're using. So this is the way to go. If you need help kind of structuring this, feel free to just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll have that link down below. We can kind of help you figure out how this fits into your funnel because everyone's a little different. So this is just how it fits into my funnel as a permanent lighting business. And then step 2 is to understand the job of the agent. So the whole goal for our agent is to qualify and route. It's not closing, it's not quoting. It's really simple. So basically it just responds to the inbound DM. The agent's going to respond, it's going to qualify them and educate them, set expectations and routes it and hands it off to the human. So super simple. Obviously, it's not quoting people. It's not answering things it doesn't know. But the big thing here is this system isn't bulletproof. It can be if you structure it the right way and you go super deep into the process. But there's always going to be a situation and circumstance where, hey, we haven't had this response from a prospect yet, and the AI isn't trained on how to do it. Now, what we're not going to do is have the AI respond and say, hey, that's not in my training. I don't know this. No. If they ask a question the AI doesn't know, we have a fallback built into the system, which essentially is going to have an internal notification go to you like, hey, prospect said this, AI agent doesn't know the answer. Please respond with the correct answer as soon as you can. And then you'll respond, and then the AI will get back to the process of it. So that way you don't have any fails built into it where the AI publicly expresses to the prospect like, hey, I don't know this. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to have this perception of, hey, the owner is talking to this prospect, not an AI agent, not some salesperson, the owner. So we don't want to let anything happen where they're like, hey, this is blah, 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 and the AI doesn't know it. We don't want the AI to say it doesn't know it. We just want it to let you know internally so you can respond and cater to that need and that response type. And then we can always back train the agent later to handle that type of response. So super simple, understand the job. It's an employee in your business, so we got to train it the right way. And then step number 3 is building a chunked knowledge base. So this is pretty simple. All you're going to do is go into ChatGPT. I have a prompt down in the description. I have everything down in the description that you can follow. But you're going to basically have ChatGPT interview you about your business and how it works, your warranty, and just everything. And then you're going to answer some questions, and then ChatGPT is going to be able to build that knowledge base, or Claude. I would recommend using Claude in this situation. Then you're going to export it into Google Docs, and it's going to be chunked so that way you're not using a lot of tokens. That's where it gets more into the technical jargon. And then you're going to upload it into the agent. So chunking matters because it allows for faster responses from the agent. It doesn't hallucinate. So if you just paste a whole document full of information that's not segmented and chunked for specific things, the AI is going to have a tough time responding the right way. And it's going to allow for easier updates later down the line. If you ever have to update your knowledge or you have a new offer that you're running, it's also going to make the AI work way better and make better decisions in general. So the knowledge is basically going to have what you do, who you help, where you operate, how your pricing works, what a qualified lead looks like, what happens next, FAQs and how to answer them, real examples, right? Super simple. And then how it's built, it's basically just a single interview style prompt. You're going to answer them with voice about your business, and you're not going to have to do any formatting. AI is going to literally structure everything for you with the prompt that I provide down below. And basically you're going to give out platform dependent actions. So it can collect contact info, it can tag and score leads, trigger automations, pass data to a CRM, and it can act differently depending on where it lives essentially. So in Go High Level within the agent that I'm on right now, I can basically have it do a lot of different things. Right? It can trigger appointments. I can have it trigger workflows. I can have it stop. I can have it do auto follow-ups. So this is kind of why I like Go High Level, because it's all built into one spot. So this is really simple for anybody to DIY and do themselves. So I would 100% recommend getting into Go High Level or figuring out if your CRM has some sort of system like this. And to my knowledge, I don't think any other CRM for service businesses does. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. And then the knowledge base kind of looks like this. So I have a couple different areas. So I have a product knowledge base, install process, pricing, timeline, warranty, company position. So just overall background on the company, and then some FAQs and objections. So if anyone asks specific questions, we have exact responses in here. So the AI knows exactly how to respond. So that's what the knowledge base system looks like. like I said, you'll just go into ChatGPT, prompt it, and it'll be able to give you all the questions you need to answer these and chunk this knowledge base together. Then you'll just go into Google Docs and combine these with the different tabs. So that's super simple there, okay? And then the next step you're gonna wanna take is assembling the system prompt, like I said. So I already have the link in the description to a templated system prompt. Super simple, it's really easy. I'll show you exactly how it works. So the template here is already pre-filled. So you'll literally just be like, hey AI, this is a template for a system prompt that I wanna follow. And the key here is doing this after you already do the knowledge base. Do the knowledge base first so you can literally just stay in the same conversation with the AI and say, hey, now that we got the knowledge base set up, I wanna now create the system prompt. Here is the system prompt template based on everything you know from the knowledge base. Just fill this in the blank areas, right? It'll be able to fill everything in. So this basically just tells it how to respond, what type of process it goes down, and then like obviously you want to have bad response examples so it doesn't respond in a bad way, and then also good responses, and just give it a lot of examples on different scenarios that it could come across. Okay, so it's basically just training it to make sure it responds exactly how you want it to, and it doesn't sound like AI at all. So yeah, like I said, you want to have the business knowledge base as the main piece of this, combine it and have the AI generate the final prompt, and then you'll just deploy it into the agent platform, and you'll kind of be able to test and refine, but most times it is super easy and you can just one shot it and it'll work really, really well. So once the knowledge base is done, just structure the system prompt and use the rules that I already provided. And the system prompt's essentially just identifying the identity and how this AI is going to operate, right? So the prompt is the behavior and the knowledge is the facts, right? So the knowledge is the brain, the prompt is like the operating system essentially for the AI. So how do you actually build it? You're just going to paste the prompt template in. The knowledge base is already going to be in the context of the AI, and then you're just going to have the LLM merge them together, fill in the blanks, and then you just got to kind of skim through it to make sure it's accurate. So you won't have to write anything manually. It'll be super, super simple. And then you'll just paste it into your CRM or your agent builder, depending on what you're doing. So we're going to get into it right now and go into the process. So within Go High Level, you're going to look into your bot settings. So this is where you'll first start. You'll click Create Agent here on the side. So I'll kind of show you how that looks. You'll have the AI agents. You'll click it. You'll go over Conversation AI. And then you'll go into the bot settings. You don't have to name this anything you want. I just named it DM Agent V1. It's going to be on autopilot since it's going to be directly responding automatically. And then the channels that we have it on are Instagram and Facebook. If you do things through WhatsApp, you could also do that as well. We don't want it to automate SMS because SMS is where we're quoting people and where it basically is sending people after it goes through this step. And then we have the business name. So just put your business name in there. And this is important for autopilot mode. So we have a wait time before responding. So 20 seconds is what I've set it to. So this is essentially like, hey, if the prospect is sending multiple messages, you want to have the AI be able to wait long enough to where it can, essentially acknowledge all those messages and give one premium response. If you have it at 5 seconds and the prospect sends another message, the AI is going to respond to that one message and it's going to look a little weird. So we want to make sure it's at around 20 seconds. The maximum messages a bot can send in a conversation, you can set this as high as you want. I have it at 15 right now. There's really no circumstance where it goes any higher than that. And within Go High Level, what's cool is you can have the bot respond to images and voice notes. So it can essentially analyze images. And if you quote that way, you could get a really good insight and data to what they're sending. And then you can also send them to sleep. So I send them to sleep when I message manually for 24 hours. That way, hey, it's not going to have to come back in and, screw up the whole process, because sometimes it'll do that and it'll respond like right after you manually send something. So we want to definitely send it to sleep. So for bot training, this is where you go into your knowledge base. So I'm going to create a new knowledge base right now, and I'm going to call this HB Lighting Knowledge Base 2026. We don't need a description here. We're going to create it, and it's going to redirect us to basically uploading this knowledge base. So what you can do here, if you want, you can have it crawl the web, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload rich text. So I'm going to go back into my knowledge base. I'm going to go, okay, product knowledge, copy everything, go back. This is product knowledge, boom. And then you just paste it. Cool. Save it. And then you're going to do the same thing over again once it saves. Cool. So that's been saved. Now we want to add a new source, rich text. And then we're going to go back to our knowledge base and we'll go, okay, here's the install process knowledge base, because sometimes people are going to want to know about that, right? So we're going to Command Shift V, save it, and then we're going to add a source, rich text. Super simple. And then here's our knowledge base. We'll add that in. Awesome. So now our knowledge base is connected. As simple as that. Cool. So we'll click Save, and then we'll go to the bot goals. So this is the next step. What you're going to want to use, GPT 4.1 works. It's the cheapest, so this is kind of where cost comes in. I would just stick to 4.1. Works really good. I was doing this back in the day when you were working with like 3.1 and stuff like that. Very terrible. It was a lot worse. So this is definitely the way to go here. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my prompt. So we want to get into how this AI is operating. So here's what we'll do. We'll add this part into kind of like its role and mission. Okay, so this is where we're going to go into its role. So kind of personality, right? That's where you want to go there. And then obviously the goal and guardrails. This is just extra information. So we have this, and then we have extra info. We'll see sometimes you don't want to have too much context here because it'll be hard for it to know like what's going on. So boom, we got our guardrails. So we'll add that into the additional information section. Use their first name, right? So this is where I want to add a custom value. So we want to go contact first name, right? I'll show you how we do auto follow-ups. So basically what we're going to want to do here on the back end, set active hours for follow-up, which is super important. So what you want to say, okay, like we're only following up with people between 7 a.m. and let's say 10 p.m., right? So we want to copy to all days for every day. Cool. And then we can also look, I don't know why that didn't save, but we don't have any follow-up scenarios, okay? So contact stop replying, right? And we can also trigger workflows. So follow-up 1, let's say, hey, after 60 minutes, we want to follow up. Then after, let's say, 4 hours, we want to follow up. And then let's say after 12 hours, we want to follow up. And then let's say after 1 day. And then let's say after 2 days. If they don't answer then, we'll do like a 3-day kind of thing. So it's a little longer. And now we can set the active hours for the agent. Cool. So that's been saved. Nice. Cool. And then also if contact's busy, we want to do that. So we'll probably wait a little bit. And then we'll wait a day. And you can also trigger workflows, which is super cool. So we can literally automate the entire follow-up process if we needed to in a workflow to make it a little more structured with how it's following up with people, which is something that I would experiment with for sure. 2 days, 3 days, and then we'll do like a week for the last one here. That way we're not too crazy on these guys. Save. Boom. I'll make sure we save that. Nice. So you could probably pretty much transfer this to another bot on a different area. That's specific for a specific thing. So this is where you can get kind of crazy on this whole thing. Cool. So now we have our stop actions in here. And then to really put everything into good use here, you could add appointment booking. I'm not doing this because I'm not booking any appointments for them. And then we can also do trigger workflows as well. Cool. So this is where I would primarily have most of my stop actions and also where I would have like, you know, the next step. So triggering a workflow in high level, that's a whole nother video. But from here, we have everything ready to rock. So now we have the goal of the agent and we can click save and now we can test it. Hey there, how can we help you out today? Looking to get, we do permanent Govee outdoor lighting installs around Green Bay. Can you tell me a bit about your home and what you're looking for? I have a 1-story home with the Govee lights 2 that I bought a month ago. Looking for someone to install. Now we'll see if it knows. Perfect. That's exactly what we do. Just leave your Govee lights in the garage and unlock. How much? Cool. So it's responding in a good way. For a 1-story home with your own Govee lights, labor is usually $400 to $500 depending on how long it takes. This is good. This is good. So we can see the chat history, actions executed. So this is where you basically train it and test it. So we're going to restart. We're going to say, hey, I'm looking to get permanent lighting in the right place. Can't send a pic right now, but I'm looking for the front. No worries at all. I think it's 150. It's a 2-story. I have a outlet in the Govee Pros. Perfect. Do you buy them or me? Right? So now this is like, it's going to be able to answer questions for our whole process. You buy the lights, so you own the hardware. We handle the install and back it with our 1 year, right? So it's basically going to just answer literally every fucking question this person's going to have. Perfect. Okay. Sounds good. We'll see what it says. Till install if you them. So there's a couple things obviously seeing here. It's not taking actions. So this is where you trigger workflows. Obviously the workflow process is a little more complex, but that's basically it. That's how you build this agent, and you can test everything on the side here. And then obviously the whole goal is you want to definitely add these actions in to trigger a workflow. Like when they say, hey, yeah, I have these lights. boom, then go into that process, right? Super simple. Obviously, it already knows everything and it's working pretty solid. So after you do that and you're testing your agent, then all you'll need to do is just finalize it. If you have it already connected and go high level, it should start working once you publish it in your DMs. So you can go into the dashboard. Okay, this is my bot. Let's see what bots we have. Let's look at our agent list. So it's on autopilot. So now it's responding to any Facebook and Instagram DM for us. So when it's on autopilot, it means it's working. It means it's running. Cool. So this is how you build a AI agent in your CRM if you're using Go High Level and completely automate your top of funnel sales process essentially. So the final result that you now have is you have an instant DM agent that can reply to all your DMs. It'll automatically qualify people. It'll follow up with them. It'll educate them, and it'll cleanly hand them off to booking or even just book them in the DMs specifically. Now, why do I use Go High Level? Because it is built for service businesses. You have a CRM and you have automations, you have invoicing, literally everything in one place. And it's the simplest way to deploy a system like this. If you're a business that's looking for a voice AI agent as well, they have a whole system for voice AI agents, pretty much the same way this is. And that's something that we also have for our business. So I can make a video showcasing how to build that yourself in Go High Level. So you don't have to pay a crazy amount of money for some agency to build it and run it for you consistently. So if you want this built for your business, tap the first link in the description. I'll run a consulting company called H2H Consulting, where we help service businesses implement systems like this and automate and kind of delegate their processes and figure out where AI can fit in for the modern way of work and business operation that we're starting to tap into here with the new world and the new technology that's coming out. The tools I use in this video are Go High Level and then just Claude or ChatGPT. Claude was my LLM of choice in this video. So yeah, that is everything you need to know about building an AI agent step by step to automate everything for your business. If you're looking for support, if you're looking to use Go High Level, I have a link in the description. And if you're looking for somebody to build this out for you, I can totally do it. Tap the first link in the description. We'll do a little consult call, figure out where you're at, and we can build this. Because yes, I showed you how to do it. Yes, it's a little complicated. Yes, this video could have been like 3 hours long. I could have showed you literally everything, the entire setup process, but I want to keep it simple, digestible for you so you know exactly how to do this yourself, at least at a simplistic level. And yeah, if you're a service business, an owner operator that is struggling replying to leads every single day, you should start by fixing your funnel and getting it dialed in so you don't waste ad spend and you don't waste time trying to reach out to dead leads and following up and repeating the same process over and over again. Because if you're repeating yourself, that's where you can automate and that's where you can build the systems. It's Ethan. Appreciate you watching this video. I have more videos coming. If you want to see how to build a source of truth for your business, I have a link in the description to show you how that works. I also have a whole video of me building the sales funnel that I'm currently using in my business for any owner operator to check out as well. Appreciate you guys and have a good one.